everyone. Welcome to Third Shot Podcast. Uncle Greg and I have another great episode in store for you all. But before we get into it, please head on over to our social media. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Third Shot Podcast or on X at Third Shot Pod. If you would like, you could head over to our website, thirdshotpodcast.com, and find all of our previous episodes, as well as some amazing Third Shot apparel, so you can match with Uncle Greg and I.
Looking good.
Yeah, he's a model over there.
I am trying. Cheers.
Cheers. Let's do a little toast.
Let's toast. How have you been, Brigie?
I've been good.
Yeah.
Things are slowing down at work. The weather's getting better. I started doing my annual fundraiser. I think you've heard of it before, but it's called the Great Cycle Challenge. So lots of bike riding as of lately.
So how many miles have you ridden so far?
Just shy of 20 miles. My goal for the month, which is the goal for the entire fundraiser, is 125 cumulative miles. So throughout the month of September, I get to add up all the miles and reach 125, and I've pledged to raise $500.
Well,
minimum.
we always pledge for you.
Yes, and I truly appreciate the support. I've gotten a couple of donations so far. I know some of my family members are waiting because in previous years they do a match day. So they gather up a bunch of different companies, and whoever makes a donation on that specific day, they'll match it. So then you end up getting double. So that's what we're kind of aiming for and holding out for. But until then, it'll just be bike riding.
And what is the charity that this money goes towards?
It's the National Children's Cancer Research Foundation. And I believe September is Children's Cancer Awareness Month. And so this kind of aligns with that. And I'm sure there's plenty of other fundraisers going on locally and nationally that people can participate in. But this one caught my eye back in 2020 before I found pickleball. So this one predates my pickleball obsession. And I took a year off last year for the wedding planning, but this year I'm back at it.
Nice. So what is your regimen? Do you bike every day, or do you try to catch up on weekends? I know you're so busy during the week.
I try to just fit it in wherever I can. It's super helpful that I work in a facility where there's stationary bikes. So during lunchtime, if like in the previous years, if I was kind of running out of time for the month, then I started making sure that I did like a 5 to 10 mile ride during my lunch break. And that kind of like helps me catch back up. But evenings, usually after work, also weather permitting. We've got great weather right now in Las Vegas, but sometimes it can be super, super hot. And so those days I try to avoid and kind of just fit it in when the weather gets a little bit better, because I do prefer an outdoor ride than a stationary bike ride.
So what is the weather right now in Las Vegas? It's so funny because you're saying the weather's getting better, and in most parts of the country, the weather's getting worse.
Oh, really? So here we've got like low 90s, and then it's predicting like high 80s. Which I think for Vegas is quite nice. So,
oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it's very tolerable.
So what are you at, low 90s right now?
Yeah, let me check the weather app for the official.
So like if you go out in like an evening after work, is it still low 90s?
Yeah, so today the high was only 97, and right now, or about 6 p.m. ish, we'll hit 94 without this direct sun, so that feels nice. And then starting Wednesday, for a span of like 4 days, we'll be in the high 80s, 87, 86, 86, and 88.
I think it's so funny. You crack me up when you go, oh my gosh, it's cooling down. It feels so good. It's only 97 today.
It makes such a big difference.
We're not at 117. We're only at 97 today.
Yeah. And after being here for a few summers, you'll feel it too. Like a 10-degree difference from like 110 to just 100. You'll be like, oh yeah, it's nice. I can be outside.
Oh, yeah. 110, let's go. Let's go ride
Right.
100 miles today. Yeah, let's go do that. Now I'll take the indoor stationary in the, air conditioning gym, even at 97, I think. Holy moly.
Yeah. Well, in the evenings when the sun's going down, it does cool off even more. So you don't
Yeah,
have that direct like sun rays on you. That really is the draining part, I think.
yeah, yeah. No, that's, it is tough when the sun's just beating on you and you just
Yeah.
and you know me, I sweat. Like, if I hit sunlight and I'm exercising outside, I'm just dripping. I think I would get into a bike crash. Right? The sweat would
You're
get into my
slippery.
eyes. I think I'm just gonna run into a parked car or something crazy like that. But that's great. I'm glad you're doing it for such a good cause.
Yeah, thank you. It feels good to be back on track with it, taking a year off. I kind of missed it last September,
Did
but
you?
this year, yeah, it's nice. So if
Right.
anyone wants to ride or donate, reach out. We'll get you
So if somebody
situated.
wants to donate, how should they reach out to
Yeah.
you?
So on my personal Instagram page, I do have a link. I think I'll also link it in our third shot bio as well, where you can find it. It's called the Great Cycle Challenge. I'll make a couple posts, but I don't want to bother too many people out there with my non-pickleball stuff. So just you can find it on our page in our bio section, and anything, any donation, how no matter how small it is, I think it's going to a really great cause. So appreciate all the support we can get.
That's wonderful.
What
Thanks
have
for
you
doing
been
that.
up to?
Well, kind of along the same lines as you, I have been donating time to a nonprofit, which is Hospice of the East Bay here in Northern
Oh,
California.
very nice.
Yeah, obviously cancer is very dear to both of our hearts, and we're trying to give back. I lost my dad to cancer, and hospice was such a big part of his last days. I mean, really try and take care of him. So, my stepmom is very active with the hospice at East Bay. She volunteers. I volunteer as many events as I can. And very recently, we had a concert over in Rossmore, and it was
Nice.
called a band called Decades. And they played music from every decades back to the 50s to current music.
How
And
fun.
I've become very close to one of our previous guests, Karen Owak, she wrote the book on nutrition, and she's an avid pickleball player. I probably play with her at least once a week. And I invited her and her husband, Rich, to join me for the concert recently. And we just went out there, and Rich has been recovering from a health issue, and it was a nice to kind of get him out of the house. And we went to the concert, we're playing music. Oh my gosh. We were dancing up a storm. Like,
Oh,
I think
good.
almost every song for, like, that 2-hour concert that they put on, we were out there dancing with our table. We had, like, 10 people at our table. We were all just dancing together. We'd stop for a minute, have a little drink of wine or, water or something, snack a little bit on some food, and then we just get right back out on the dance floor and start dancing again. So it was great, and we raised a lot of money. So that was the thing, is right. We got to give back to the hospice society, and I think we raised, I don't know, something like $4 or $5,000
Wow.
at the concert that evening. I want to say maybe even more than 5,000, maybe it was six. So anyway, it was a good event. There was a raffle. There was some good prizes. I got a bocce ball set, so you got to play a little bocce ball with the family. So that was fun.
That's so nice. And I'm sure they enjoyed themselves. You're a really fun time to go out with.
We were
Regardless if it's charity, if it's just dinner, like you're a good time.
Thank you. We did have a good time, and it was nice just to get them out and dancing and laughing and meeting some new friends. They made some new friends. In fact, I played pickleball with Karen earlier today. Karen, I know you're listening because she listens every week. Rich, you're probably listening as well. And Karen had mentioned to me that somebody reached out to her to hire her from Rossmore. So somehow, some
Woo!
way, from probably that evening, that they found Karen's information, reached out to her, and hopefully she's got a new client.
Always building those connections.
It's all about,
That's great.
helping
Yeah.
out and giving back, and whoever needs help, try to give back somehow, some way.
So
It all comes around, right?
it does. It really does. And I do have a question though from your partying experience.
Okay.
Which decade was your most favorite to dance to, and which one was your least favorite?
Wow. Okay. This is actually not necessarily just dance, but in general. So I'm aging myself, but I started high school in the 80s. I finished college in the 80s. So my big music, time of my life is 80s. So I love 80s music. And I really like alternative 80s music. That's
Oh.
yeah, that's kind of my thing. Um, in fact, when I was down in Vegas with you recently and I rented a car and they had, the satellite radio and you could pick whatever channel, I just started blasting 80s alternative music. I rented that convertible where you're taking pictures of me. It was
Yeah.
so funny. You're taking little sneak pictures of me driving a convertible. It was a blast, but I was just like the music, which is as loud as I can go, and I was flying down the street with this convertible. It was a lot of fun. My least favorite, and I don't know why it's my least favorite, but like 70s folky music. I don't like.
Hmm.
I don't know why that's kind of like 70s disco. I can get into, right?
Uh-huh.
I can dance to 70s disco. There's something about 70s folk type music. I don't
What is
know.
70s folk music? Like, do you have an example of a
L
song?
like Jim Croce type stuff.
I'm
And
gonna
he's
have
a great, great musician, right? He's had some fantastic hits. Um, but it's that type of music. It's not necessarily
mhm,
him specifically, but it's that type of music I don't know,
can't get into it.
can't get into it. How about you? What's your favorite?
I think similar to you, it's kind of like that high school, college period of my life where that music is just so fun to me and really just is nostalgic. It kind of takes me back and it's just so much fun. So for me, that would be like late 2000s to like 2014-ish. Like that's a weird period, but it's a lot of just like in Bay Area music. Oh, that was huge when I was in high school. So anything like Bay music is like that gets the party
Like, give
started
me an
for.
example of an artist or a song that takes you back.
Oh, like E40, like Tell Me When to Go. Like that's a
There
classic,
you go. Yeah.
right?
E40 is awesome, and he goes all the Warrior games. He's sitting courtside at every Warrior game still.
He represents the Bay quite
He
well, I think.
he does. I actually saw him in concert.
Oh, really?
I did see E40 in concert, absolutely.
Wow, you've
Yeah.
seen it all. Oh my gosh.
There you go. Random fun fact about Uncle Greg. He saw E40 in
Yeah.
concert, yeah.
And
Well,
then my least favorite, I think, is like 1920s, like flapper music.
oh,
I don't know. It's like very haunting sounding to me. Like it kind of creeps me out.
really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's not like it's common. So it's very easy to avoid that type.
Yeah, like, "Oh, yeah. Oh gosh, flapper music's on the radio again. I
Yeah,
gotta
we gotta
turn it
change the
off."
station.
Yeah, change. Yeah, it's not on your playlist. Never suggested the full flapper music. I don't think I've ever
No.
had flapper music suggested. Well, we are going to have a extremely fun show today. We have a couple that is joining us. They are the owners of Dill Dinkers. We've talked to a lot of different indoor pickleball franchises, and Dill Dinkers is one of our favorites, if not our favorite. And they are opening up a Dill Dinkers in St. Petersburg, Florida. So Lisa and Kevin will be joining us after everybody goes onto our social media. Please start following us if you haven't already done so. If you have, give us some 5 stars, give us some subscriptions. You know where to find us: Instagram, Facebook at Third Shot Podcast, on X on Third Shot Pod, on YouTube, Third Shot Podcast. Check out our cool merch that I typically wear on every episode and see how red I get because of all the drinks that we take during this show. All right. Well, speaking of drinks, we're going to have to bring our guests on to do our toast with Lisa and Kevin. Hi, Lisa and Kevin. Welcome to Third Shot.
Hello there.
Hello.
We're so excited to hear your story. But before we get into it, let's do a little toast to you, Lisa and Kevin, and Dill Dinkers. Cheers.
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 Oh, whatever you had, that looked delicious.
It tasted good too.
I see the smiles on your faces, so it had to have been good.
See how
Right.
easy that was?
And now we're ready. So
Yeah.
share with us your pickleball stories and kind of what sparked your interest in starting at Dill Dinkers.
Oh, wow. I think because my husband's been retired now for a few years, and I knew I was going to start to be retired, and I can't stand still. So I knew I was going to be leaving my job after 18 years. And what was I going to do? And I had to do something that was going to be, I had to be passionate about it and love to do it. And I started playing pickleball, and I'm obsessed with it. And I thought, hey, you know what? I'm going to open up my own facility and I'm going to do a great job. And the more I looked into it, the more difficult it was because there's so many moving parts that I started looking into franchising. And a friend gave me a flyer on Dill Dinkers, and we went to their opening day, and we just went and learned about it, their discovery day. And everyone we met was just fabulous. So we decided, you know what, this is a right fit. And we decided to go with Dill Dinkers.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary. You know, basically both of us are, I've already kind of made a transition, and Lisa was ready for a transition. And this kind of just fell into place. It wasn't planned. We just went out. We were introduced to pickleball. Lisa loves the sport. We both played it, but she's much better athlete than I am, and she loves it. So it kind of became something that she says, yeah, I think I could do this. Let's look into it. And Dill Dinkers sort of just fell in our lap. Somebody gave us the info, and we went to like Lisa mentioned, that we went to their discovery weekend, and everything about that experience was positive. Their business model, the experiences they've had, the people that we interacted with, the culture that they want to encourage, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? So you know, how do you make it a pleasant experience for everybody?
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's more than just pickleball.
Yeah.
It's a community.
It's a community. There you go. That's
It's
the
the
word.
community, the culture that they're really
Everything.
going
Yeah,
for
yeah.
at all the Dill Dinker locations. So, you know, you mentioned that you were thinking about opening your own and originally, and, you know, things are more difficult than you thought. Like, how does Dill Dinkers make that easier for you?
You know, the number one issue for me was finding a location in Florida. There's not a lot of space. And I knew there's a lot of other people who are just as passionate who wanted to open a spot, and they couldn't find a location. You can't build it from the ground up. You have to find something that's already available. And they ended up giving us somebody that we worked with even before we signed to make sure we can find a location. And to me, that was really big. That means they really believed in us and they supported us before we even signed the dotted line. So we were able to find a few locations. One fell through and a few others we really liked. And now we have a signed lease and we're moving forward with our first location.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's huge. Congrats.
And if I can add to that, you know, at the Discovery Weekend, they also went over the whole process of, like Lisa mentioned, picking out the location, how much of a challenge that is. And then they also talked about all the other aspects of putting a business plan together, you know, the financing, all the administrative functions that are in the IT process of it, planning, scheduling, you know, all of that. And if you break it down and without having any experience in this world, to think that you could do that on your own, boy, that's ambitious, and they've kind of went through the process of trial and error. And they when we saw them, they've already been through several intonation, what's the word, intonations of that. And what they were giving us was a
Their
model
best practice.
that has seen a lot of trial and error, and they weeded out the problem issues. So what we saw was a really kind of fine-tuned process. And we said, you know what, we can do this. At least we thought we could, and we can't turn back now. We're in it.
I would say though, every step of the way though, they've helped us.
They have.
From marketing to real estate. To me, the programming, Brian Lloyd, their chief pickleball officer, the ideas he has to really help us in our facility has been amazing. He's interviewed my director of pickleball candidates and helped me identify the right person. Just the programming and the strategic overview of what you need to do. It's not field of dreams, build it and they will come. You have to really make sure you know what you're doing, and especially around the marketing aspect, to get people to understand what you're providing for them.
Yeah.
That's great. So what can players expect at your club? You mentioned programming. What are some things that are going to be offered?
Well, I think all Dill Dinkers are pretty much the same. So it is not like a golf organization or golf club. We don't have restaurants. We don't have, that social aspect of it. But what we do have is bringing the community through the programming. There'll be leagues, there'll be events, there'll be clinics, there'll be, open play. You're going to play with people who are at the same level. If you go to a park now and you're playing with somebody who is either much better or not as good, it frustrates either one of the parties. So making sure that works. There'll be restrooms there. There's going to be a pro shop. Pickleball Central is a partner of theirs. So we will be providing whatever they have on their website will be in our shop. And, there will be a social area and a sitting area so people can relax. It's just not going to have a restaurant like some other locations are doing.
Yeah, it's really focused on pickleball, run efficiently, temperature controlled, scheduled. Everybody who's playing now outdoors, they all know the challenges going outdoors, the randomness of it. You go and you don't quite know how much you're going to play, who you're going to play with, what the weather's like. This way, it's all pre-scheduled. It's got all kinds of formats that will fit whatever you're looking for, open play, or you want to get into competitive leagues or whatever. You can go online and you can plan it. So when you walk in that building, you've got exactly what you were expecting. And that's a great aspect. I think that's the real draw of indoor pickleball.
Plus there's other things. There'll be events. I know one of the clubs just did something around bingo night, and there's other people who are doing, for singles only, casino night, identifying what our club members want and then instituting it into the programs that's going to make them happy.
It sounds like it's going to be a blast, and you're going to have such a welcoming environment and community for people to play in. And I think it really starts at the top, but with the two of you, and take it even a step further, the top of Dill Dinkers. Brigie and I have had the pleasure to speak with Denise and Will Richards, the founders and owners of Dill Dinkers. And I just saw a write-up of them in Pickleball Mag, fantastic write-up. I think Dill Dinkers, correct me if I'm wrong, is the fastest growing pickleball franchise right now in America. So congratulations to you being part of that. I think when Brigie and I had an opportunity to meet them, like, they really exude that welcoming spirit and wanting to just put that as the focus of all of the pickleball locations that Dill Dinkers opens up. Is that what made an impression on you when you met them?
Absolutely right. I think, we made a quick reference to it as when we went to that Discovery Weekend. Everything about that experience, including the people, like you mentioned, Will and Denise and Ben and all those people, they were all so pleasant. They gave just a real sense of, we could work with these people. They'll be pleasant to work with, and their priorities are in the right place. So yes, I agree.
To me, it's about trust. I've been on the corporate side and I've been a franchisor. And for franchisees to really trust the franchisor is really critical. And I think that's what they did when we met with them. And I mean, we've been there now a year almost, and it's been everything they said. We've had challenges up and down, but I could call them any one of them, and they respond right away. They support us, they help us. And I think that's what it's all about. You know your success, but you're not alone. They're going to help you through it.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I have to echo Uncle as well. I do think that it kind of starts at the top and trickles down, and the players are going to see and be a part of that experience, and that will help kind of set your club apart from some others that may be existing. If you have already announced your club opening, has there been some kind of positive feedback that you've received from the pickleball community, and excitement and anticipation?
We have received so far, we have 55 members, and we just started getting onto social media, and 55
Wow.
members already. And they're coming in fast and furious. And we haven't even done anything with paid advertising. This is just organic. So I think just being in the community and knowing a lot of people who play, it's something that's really needed in Florida because of the heat and the weather. And right now in St. Pete, we don't have anything. There's clubs starting to open, but nothing is open right now.
You had mentioned that you already have some members signed up. If people that are listening right now might be in the St. Pete area and they're interested in looking it up and possibly signing up, what's the best way for them to do that?
On Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, there's posts constantly, and it says join our wait list. And if you get into that wait list, then we are reaching out to them, and we will talk to them and let them know when we're opening and what to expect. And then we start talking about, memberships. Probably, we're going to have a hard hat event where they can come in and actually see the location. But the first 200 members are going to receive a founder's t-shirt, as well as, helping us develop the location.
When you said you're going to have a hard hat event, I thought you were going to put the hard hat on them. They're going to start building. You're going to put them to work, right? You said, we got to get this place open. You're going to start painting, hammering.
Bring a hammer.
Something. Yeah, bring your hammer, bring a wrench.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, a lot of the pickleball facilities that are going up, either they're not soft courts like Cushion X that we're using. They're hard courts. They're not easy on the knees. The lighting is really an issue. And then the programming, and all three of them are really critical, as well as having really good customer service. Entwining all four of them together is, to me, what's going to make a very successful club. And that's what Dill Dinkers has brought to us.
Yeah, I think what we're going to really try to emphasize, and you all made a quick reference to it, is the experience. We want whoever walks in that door, we want them to leave with a really positive feeling about the facility, the people that we have in there, helping them, guiding them through whatever they're doing for that particular day, and that's kind of what we're taking away from Dill Dinkers and developing our own sort of
Your own
momentum.
culture. Yeah.
Our own culture. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, that's going to be so wonderful. And for people who might not be familiar with the Dill Dinkers model, you mentioned membership, but is it also open for those who may not be interested in a membership, but just kind of like a walk-in type basis?
Yeah, if you're a member, you're going to pay half price for court fees, but you don't have to be a member. And I think that's what some of the other clubs had. You could only have membership. And then if you have a friend that doesn't play and you want to get them exposed to it, they don't have that opportunity. So you can do either or. But I think the real nice thing is it's nationwide. So if I have a location in St. Pete and then there's another one in Maryland and someone's traveling to Maryland, no matter where you go, you're going to end up finding a location that's Dill Dinkers, and you're going to be able to play. And I think that's the one asset to definitely being a national brand. You're going to be able to provide your members with other locations while they're on vacation.
And another distinction between members and non-members is the members obviously pay less for the court fees, but a non-member will pay more for the court. But there's also, I mentioned earlier with you, is scheduling. In other words, you can go online and book your time on the court. If you're a non-member, you've got a much shorter window to do that. A member actually has a much longer period that they can go in and book those sites. So they have first choice, if for lack of a better word, So that's another thing we hope. Yeah,
huge advantage for the members. So I definitely, if you're in the St. Pete area, get on that wait list for being a member.
Yeah.
Lisa, you had mentioned earlier that you were on the franchisor side of business for so long. I'm just curious what the two of you did prior to getting into this venture, and what did you learn from past experiences that you're bringing in that's going to help you with this experience?
You want to go first?
Well, actually, my background doesn't really coincide much with this. I was in law enforcement. Let's hope my skill set isn't going to be needed here.
Well, you're going to be in charge of rules, right?
Yeah. And then I got into real estate for a while. So, but go ahead, Lisa. She's been more in the corporate world, the franchise world for a long time. So
I started in retail. So I was at Lord & Taylor when it was around, and was there for 10 years. But then I ended up moving into more of an environment. So Service Master, World Duty Free. I'm with Pods right now.
Okay.
I'll be retiring soon once we open, hopefully, the location. But a lot of the franchising part, like when I was at Service Master, we had 10 different brands that was part of Service Master. At Pods, when I started there, 90% of it was franchisee, and then we ended up bringing it in and it was all corporate owned. But you do learn a lot, and the franchisees are putting a lot of their own capital into their business. So you have to understand in the corporate environment what that means to those individuals who are putting all of this money into their business. It's just a different mindset. And I think on the other hand, I understand what corporate is trying to do to keep that brand really critical, because it's important. You can have one franchisee who ruins the brand and then it impacts all of the other franchisees. So I think having both sides is really going to be a benefit going forward.
Yeah, I think you've got great experience. And even if law enforcement isn't a direct experience, I'm sure there's plenty of skills you picked up that's going to be helpful with the opening of your facility.
I have a feeling.
Right.
There's a lot of those skills are coming in.
These pickleballers, they're serious people.
Right?
Yeah, no lobbing.
Yeah.
Are you able to share a rough timeline of the opening of your facility and kind of what your goals are once it's opened?
We made reference to we're shooting for middle or late November. I'm hoping there's an outside chance it might work. It might come a little quicker than that, but probably not. The reason being is this one issue I mentioned to you about with the fire marshal. It's one thing that we really can't do anything on the floor, the base, the floor of the courts or any of that until this issue is resolved. Well, we are getting a lot of work done right now with all the wiring, the framing because we redid the whole inside of the facility. We've got walls going up. We're redesigning the layout. So there's a lot of progress being made. But once we're at that point where we can really start moving on the surface of the facility, then things will happen quickly. But we're just keeping our fingers crossed that the fire marshal comes through for us fairly soon.
Well, tell us a little bit about the facility itself. How big is it? How many courts are you going to have? Are you going to have fenced in courts? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a 24,000 square foot facility. We're going to have 10 courts there. Everything is fenced in, which is nice. And We're going to have LED lights, which is really important. So people, when they're playing, especially when, you're in a facility that has low ceilings, our ceilings are 25 feet high. So
Nice.
lobbying is okay.
Okay, good. Good.
But yeah, I think having the 10 courts is something that is going to be very beneficial for this area, because a lot of the parks right now, if you can find 4 courts, it's a big deal. And now being able to play, with family and friends in the same facility at the same time is going to be a real asset.
Yeah. Well, I live in a place where we do need indoor facilities because of the weather, and it's just, atrocious at times. So I'm sure all the players in your area are very excited for your facility to open up. You had mentioned it before, but once again, if you could just share where they can go to find more information so that they can track the progress and be right there ready to sign up when it's opened.
Yeah. On Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, it's St. Pete.
No, Dill Dinkers St.
St.
Pete.
Pete. Yeah, St. Pete, Dill Dinkers St. Pete. Either one of them it'll take. And then there's a wait list, and you just hit that, and it ends up taking you straight to the wait list. And you just fill in your name, your email, your telephone number, and then we'll contact
And
you.
we'll follow up with them. Yes.
That sounds good. Are you able to share the address of the location yet?
Yep.
Yes, it's 2000 34th Street
North.
St. Petersburg. So we're really excited to get going.
It's a
Well,
great
we're-
location. It's in a strip mall. It's so it's got more than sufficient parking. It's right off a couple of main arteries, so there's a lot of traffic that comes through there. We'll get a lot of it's just we were really lucky to find this location. There were some challenges with the negotiations with the landowner or the property owner, but we got through that. We got it to a point where we think we're going to be really happy there with everything.
Well, I know you got your hands full opening up this first location, but I'm going to jump ahead. After you open it up, are you thinking about doing a second as well?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we're going to start advertising that we have the whole Pinellas County. So going from Tarpon Springs down to St. Pete, we're looking at other locations, and we're looking for other franchisees that want to join us and be part of our program.
Oh, I think you'd guys be perfect for that. I mean, you having experience on both sides of the franchising world, who better to work with?
Well, that's, I think, what is one of the key things. The people you work with, it's critical because you're going to be with them for 10 years, right? So you want to make sure that you identify people that are going to fit within your culture, who want to be passionate about what we're trying to accomplish, and really build that community for the whole county. So it's kind of exciting times. And all the other franchisees, we've been in contact with them, and we talk to them. I mean, we have, down in Sarasota, the Dulls that are there. And then we have Tampa that's really close by. So in the state of Florida, there's already 4 or 5 franchisees, and we all talk together, and people will go to different locations, which is really nice too.
I love to hear that. It really does kind of reflect that community piece of it that, is so prominent in the Dill Dinkers business model. So that's so exciting for the both of you.
Thank you.
Well, let's
Great.
toast to your future.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to Dill Dinkers St. Pete.
Yes.
Thank you so
Way to
much.
go,
for
third
joining us.
shot drop.
Let's go. Let's go. Well, we really appreciate both of you joining us today.
Well, thank you very much for having us. We really appreciate it.
Yes, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
You got it. And for all you listening, thank you for joining us on Third Shower. Brigie and I will continue to share our pickleball journey. Real special thanks to Lisa and Kevin for coming on. Here's the address again. It's 2034th Street North in St. Petersburg. And go to the Dill Dinkers website, look up St. Petersburg. There is a wait list. Get on that wait list because there's so many benefits for members. Really, you can take advantage of this. And if you're traveling in from out of town, they got a space for you. So you don't have to be a member. Drop in, get on one of their courts. It's cushioned, and you're just going to enjoy the friendly smiles and the friendly people that you're going to get to play with over there at the Dill Dinkers in St. Petersburg. You can support us by subscribing, and we promise to have more special guests just like Lisa and Kevin on future episodes of Third Shot Podcast. Let's continue to share our enjoyment for the game and grow this pickleball community together. See you next time on Third Shot Podcast.